Okay, right. Let's dive into this. We've got some, frankly, pretty incredible news sitting here based on the source material you sent over.
Yeah, it's definitely sparked a lot of chatter. Stuff fans have been, hoping for ages.
Exactly. And according to this article, it looks like it's actually happening.
And what's really striking, just looking at the source, is how concrete some of the details are, especially who is involved.
Totally. So we are digging into the big announcement, a new Spaceballs movie. You know, Mel Brooks's 1987 sci-fi spoof, it's got such a following.
A real cult classic.
Right. And our mission here is basically to unpack everything this article tells us about the sequel, what's actually confirmed.
And the headline grabber, right out of the gate in the source.
Rick Moranis and Bill Pullman are back.
Yep, the article says it plain as day, reprising Dark Helmet and Lone Star.
Which is huge. Especially Moranis.
That's the detail that jumps out for a lot of people, definitely.
And here's where the source gives some interesting context. It points out Rick Moranis, well, he's basically stepped back from acting roles for a long time. It mentions that 2020 Mint Mobile commercial as like his last really visible thing.
Right.
So him coming back for this, I mean, what does that detail alone, just from the article, kind of suggest about the project, or why now?
Yeah, it definitely feels like more than just, another sequel. It suggests something specific drew him back. Maybe a real commitment there that fans will appreciate.
Pity.
And the source also locks in Mel Brooks. He's back as Yogurt, and he's producing.
Which feels essential, really. And steering the ship, or maybe the Winnebago? The article says Josh Gad is set to direct and star.
Producing too, alongside Brooks and Brian Grazer.
So Gad doing both, directing and starring. Based just on that fact from the source, does that give us any clues? About the tone, maybe? The comedy style?
Well, often when someone takes on both those big roles, it points to a pretty strong personal vision, driving the project.
Oh.
The article also mentions some new faces joining. Keke Palmer is listed.
Interesting. Role unspecified in the source, though.
Not yet, no.
And this is a neat little detail from the article. Bill Pullman's son, Louis Pullman.
Who's a really solid actor himself.
Yeah. He's going to be in it, too. So you've got this kind of generational link within the Pullman family, tied to Spaceballs. That's pretty cool.
Adds another layer. And on the practical side, the source names the studio. It's Amazon MGM Studios.
Okay, so they're back in it.
And it gives a target release window, 2027. So there's a time frame mentioned in the article.
Right. So let's connect this back for you, the listener. Why should you be excited about this, potentially?
Well,
It's not just another movie announcement, is it? It's seeing actors like Moranis, who many thought were done, return to these, well, iconic roles.
Absolutely. Roles that defined them for so many people.
And it taps into the whole legacy of the original, which, the article reminds us, was 1987. Mel Brooks directed and starred. You had John Candy, Joan Rivers, giants.
The source lays out that context.
So the anticipation comes from seeing how they handle that legacy, decades later. Especially with Brooks and the original leads involved, according to this report.
And that brings us to maybe the most puzzling bit of information from the source material.
Oh.
The way the article describes the film itself, it's labeled as, get this, non-prequel, non-reboot sequel part 2.
Yeah.
But with reboot elements, franchise expansion film.
Wow. Okay. That is
Wait.
quite something.
Right.
So based only on that specific kind of tangled description from the article, what on earth could that mean for the actual movie?
Exactly.
If it's not a prequel, not a reboot, but has reboot elements, and it's part 2 but also a franchise expansion, I mean, what does that phrasing tell us?
What does that signal about how they're approaching this whole thing for 2027?
Yeah, it's a real head-scratcher of a description from the article. Definitely something to chew on while we wait for more information.